Hello everyone. Welcome to another podcast of Booster Brain classes with one of our very young professor, Dwaipayan. So we have Dwaipaiyan Choudhury with us today, who is also helping a lot of students who aspire to qualify their UGC-Net exam. So welcome Dwaipayan. Welcome to this podcast today.
Thank you.
Dwaipayan, it's been a long time that I have known you, and I know that you are one of the favorite professors of your student, right? So, to start this podcast with, I would like to know a little bit about your journey, your educational background.
Okay, so I am from West Bengal. I'm from a small town, Hooghly district of West Bengal, located around 50 to 60 meters from Calcutta. So I completed my school from Don Bosco School, Bandel. Both my class 10 and class 2. I have completed my plus 2 in humanities, and then I decided to go for like how traditionally we have this concept that if you have studied humanities you don't have much future lying ahead of you. And I'm sure maybe those who are watching the podcast, especially if you are from the humanities background, maybe will relate to this. If you have ever pursued humanities in school, they'll be like, oh, iska to kuch nahi ho sakta hai, maybe the student is not good, that's why uh, the, or there's no other option. That's why maybe someone chose to go for humanities. But
Right.
like from a very young age, like I had a leaning towards humanities subject. Like not very something I should be saying in a podcast, but I was never very good with maths or chemistry. But yeah, there's no other option. You have to do. So like I decided to take up humanities in plus 2, and then like political science and English literature had been one of my favorite subjects. Then, like after scoring around 91% in boards, both in class 10 and 12, so I had quite a few opportunities in front of me. Then I decided to go ahead with Jadavpur University. It's one of the most liberal. I'm not talking good university, bad university. It's one of the most progressive universities of the country, which helped me grow as an individual, as a human being. So I joined JU in 2014 as a UG student uh, in the Department of International Relations. Uh, and then, like my graduation, masters, and MPhil has been from Jadavpur University.
So, all throughout after your 10 plus 2, you have pursued your education from Jadavpur University.
Yes.
And it was in political science.
Yeah, it was like in JU we didn't have a department of political science, but it was the Department of International Relations, or IR department. But the degree we got there was like in bachelor's. The focus was especially on political science. So we got the degree of BA in political science, but we had a few core papers from IR, from International Relations. And in the masters, the degree we get is masters in political science with specialization in international relations.
Okay. So, did you have, say, you chose political science, right? You
Right.
said previously you said that you had interest in English literature and
Yeah.
political science. So, why not English literature, and why was it political science? Why did you shift to it?
That's an interesting question. Like literature is still one of my favorite subjects. I'll just mention this maybe because a few people who are in humanities, who are not yet in university, still in college, or still maybe someone who is in school watching the video, like we all had that maths teacher who would tell you that, oh, the maximum success you can get pursuing humanities is through English. So that is something which always stuck with me. So it was kind of my ego that, okay, so English I knew I would get through, and I even got through Presidency University, the English entrance, which is one of the most difficult entrances to crack in the whole country. But then I also qualified the IR entrance. So it's like, no. So maybe I had a point to prove to my maths sir. So like, but jokes apart, like literature is still one of my favorite subjects. And in order to understand politics also, we have to understand literature.
Right.
So without understanding literature, we can't understand politics and vice versa. So I still write. I have the habit of writing, try to write. But politics is something I essentially believe that it forms the core of a society. And I was lucky enough to have one of our school teachers, Ma'am Shampa. Like, I don't know, ma'am will be listening to this podcast or not. So Ma'am Shampa was one of those teachers who instilled that love, that uh, injected that love in the discipline since a very young age, since we were in class 11. So she made us understand how you cannot do without politics. Anything you do in life has to involve politics.
Right.
So that's how my interest in politics grew. Then I always wanted to be a part of the department of IR, which was one of the best. It is still one of the best in the country. So thankfully, I got through by writing the entrance exams, and the rest is history.
So you were happy with the choice.
I was.
Okay. I think you are still happy with the choice teaching students the subject that you took as a challenge, right?
Yeah, you can say. I mean, because at the end of the day, like whatever helps. I mean, you can. I mean, in the current job market scenario where we are, or in the even the economic scenario where we are with such high unemployment, the market conditions, everyone is aware what we are in the crisis today. So if you are actually involved in a profession which you are not enjoying, I don't think we can sustain in the long run.
Right.
I mean, money is important, but if you are not enjoying earning the money, I don't know how long can that happiness sustain.
Very true, very true. Even I believe the same thing. So, moving on, Dwapayan, we are already done, and we know now how and why you ended up choosing political science, right?
Right.
So, after that, after qualifying your masters, why did you decide to sit for this UGC-Net exam?
Okay, so I'll be honest. So during our college university days, I was not a bad student because I finished my masters with 9.5 or 9.7 CGPA. So which is not still not bad. But
That's a
however,
great CGPA.
yeah, but I mean, I'll tell you, like back in 2019 when I completed my masters, I mean, we did not have that buzz that you have to come in qualify net.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I see so many of my students, even while pursuing masters, they are so serious about qualifying the exams. So I really feel inspired by that. But I was not one of those students so serious during my masters. So I was involved with politics myself, political activism, this that. So like net and all is like okay, like I was still trying to figure out, and we did not have that culture in university also, that there will be seniors who will come and sit down with you and make you understand that why you need to qualify this exam. But there has been this change which I've seen like in the last few batches. Like I'll get back to JU, my department. Like so many of my every time like the net results come out, I have so many of my department juniors in my Facebook. So like they put the stories successfully qualified, and that too most of them they are qualifying during the masters. People from marginalized backgrounds, coming from rural backgrounds, are qualifying this exam because nowadays this culture has been promoted, which was I feel somehow lacking maybe that time. That so after finishing my masters, I got a job as a guest faculty at a college in Kolkata. At I mean when I was just 23, but that time I still had not qualified net. So I was just teaching as a visiting faculty, and I also got through MPhil in JU. But the seriousness regarding net had not come. So the seriousness regarding net had come during the lockdown, in the COVID lockdown. Yeah, because in lockdown mostly people, I mean, some of us who are actually from privileged backgrounds. I mean, because the lockdown took away a lot of things from people's lives.
Yeah.
But still, somehow, some of us were privileged enough to make dalgona coffee at home or watch movies.
Yeah.
And like and
Those
that's insane.
those were the things
So yeah,
that was going on.
yeah.
I
So
remember.
somehow I made my privilege. I tried to channelize my privilege into something which was productive. So I had friends who had already cleared net by then. So I went up to them like, "How did you clear? What are the resources? Can I clear the exam or not?" They're like, "Yeah, why not? Just give it a shot. Give it some time." So then I started studying seriously, and that October 2020, I think, was the first attempt when I cleared net. So
Okay, so that was the same time when I cleared actually, and
okay,
COVID.
congratulations.
Thank you, and same to you. So, and COVID was the time when initially I was too depressed.
Right.
because I started with something else. I started with booster brain classes, but that time we did start with something else. And then COVID, during the time it started, I went into depression for the first 1 or 2 months. So just to come out of that phase, I started with the preparation of UGC-Net. So
Okay.
anyways,
So it
COVID,
was not an organic thing that you wanted to
no, no.
pursue this. I mean, so I think both of us have some similarity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That like I also like I wanted to clear this exam at the back of my mind somewhere, but I was not serious about it.
Mhm.
So, and it was only during the COVID that I thought that maybe I have a lot of time to waste now. So why not? I mean, channelize
Yes,
this
yes,
time.
yes, exactly. This is the same thought which came to me. Instead of wasting the time, I thought of utilizing it. And net was never on my chart. So it was during COVID, just to make proper use of the time, I started with the preparation. And then,
Okay.
yeah, I got into the process, I started enjoying. So throughout the preparation, I was, very happy.
So how many times have you qualified net by now?
It's 3 times.
Wow. So in which subjects have you tried?
Commerce.
Commerce.
Yeah.
Okay. So why did you not choose to take up a government job or a job in academia? Because you have already qualified thrice. It's a
Yeah.
dream for people to qualify the exam once, and ma'am has qualified thrice. So why not any government job or any job in the academia?
Like I have already said, I net UGC-Net was never on my chart. So the thing is, I never wanted to get into any job. So
Okay.
be it a government job or a private job, job was never an option for me. I
Okay.
always wanted to get into entrepreneurship,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
and basically that was the reason I never tried for the jobs. And even now, I'm not trying for any kind of job, but I'm trying very hard to build this thing, because UGC-Net, what I feel is, till now there is very less awareness. People are not even aware. So whenever I visit the colleges and the students who come to me, you might know this thing, apart from your university, because there's already a culture of
Right.
UGC-Net. But the other colleges and universities, there is still a gap which I am trying to fulfill, to fill the gap. So maybe that's the reason I'm not trying to get into any sort of a job or
Okay.
academic
Okay.
career.
That's interesting. That's quite a challenging task.
Yeah, and I enjoy it. It's a challenge, and the thing is, like you said, if you can enjoy what you are doing,
Right.
only then you can sustain.
Right.
So I feel this is the journey, and this is the thing I wanted to do. And
I also still I think I appreciate this uh, initiative by you, because like since I am in academia now, I have been part of elite universities
yeah,
which has the so-called cream students, but I somehow feel that at the end of the day, if we go by like I'm into research, maybe someday we'll be also into research. So in research we go by data. So if we go by data, we see that most of the academicians or most of the elites of academia are still dominated by people from the elite societies, be it the upper caste domination. We have very less. I mean, if you look at the data overall of professors or assistant professors or vice chancellors in Indian colleges, Indian universities, we have very less number of people from the marginalized communities, minority communities, Dalit, Adivasi communities in this frame. So I feel that, and most of the, I mean, people in the academia, they have an, I mean, urban bias. This is what my experience I'm saying. I might be wrong. Someone watching the video can disagree with me, of course. The fundamental rights are there. You have the democratic rights to disagree with me. But someone being in the academia for quite some time, I still feel that this space is highly dominated by people from the elite societies. So I mean, if you are actually going to universities, colleges from rural areas, making them aware that, oh, there is this scope for you as well, because I mean, students especially from marginalized backgrounds, from the rural areas, they often don't get the exposure
right,
which is
yeah,
essential when you want to pursue any job, your dreams, aims, I mean, in the higher education.
yes,
So this is
yeah,
a good job
yeah,
you are
yeah.
doing. I hope you help more students from, I mean, rural areas, from areas where people are not so much talking about net yet.
Right. It's because what I feel, Dwapayan, we are from this generation, right? We are the young generation. So if we have such kind of social and moral values towards the society, because the background, the educational setup we come from, we understand there are certain loopholes. So what we are fighting against are these loopholes.
Right.
So this is the struggle or the challenge that I am talking about. There are certain loopholes that we understand, and we are there to, at least fill up these gaps. What do you think?
Right, because at the end of the day, the society is where we should be indebted to,
Yeah,
and I think it's a moral responsibility to give back something.
right.
Of course, you will make money. I mean, without money, there is nothing. I mean, even to buy, I mean, you want to take your friend for a date, for ice cream date, you need money. You want to watch your favorite movie, you need money. You want to do anything, you need money. So, I mean, you will earn money some way or the other. But apart from earning money, apart from doing for yourself, I think it's our moral responsibility to give back something.
Yes, right. And when we call ourselves as teachers, the broader term is a teacher. So
Right.
when we are a teacher, we have a lot of responsibility towards the society.
Right.
That's what I feel, because I don't think so there's any other job more noble than the job of a teacher, isn't it?
I mean, if the teaching profession wouldn't have been there, no other profession would be there.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, there's an engineer because someone taught that engineer. There's a doctor because someone taught the doctor. I mean, like one of my school teachers, Ma'am Shanta, told me long back when I wished Ma'am Happy Teachers Day. She wished me back too. That now you're also teaching Happy Teachers Day to you too. So then she told me, you know that if this profession wouldn't be there, there would be no other profession in the world.
Yes, right. So Dwapan, let's talk about the exam pattern, because yours is political science, mine is commerce, right? So paper one, we are well aware of the structure anyway. Let's talk about the political science as the specific subject for UGC-Net.
Okay, so the thing is that I mean, it's not a one size fits all model. Various subjects have their own modalities, their own way of preparation, and to be very honest, there are subjects where I feel that UGC-Net is not the right way of the method of assessment which net has, like coming up with objective, dry information. That's not how you can actually assess whether someone can be a assistant professor or not. Absolutely not. And with the way the patterns have been changing, like as a teacher also, I don't feel very hopeful because I'll be very honest. Like from 2019 onwards, like noticed a shift in the question pattern, and until the last 2 3 years, I mean until the last attempt also, the last 22 December attempt, the questions were critical. At least for political science, I can say that it was not just in which year did uh, Marx publish Communist Manifesto, or what are the books of John Locke, this, that. Like, so it's not as objective as it was initially. So I saw changing pattern, like with questions like assertion reasoning coming. You needed to understand the question. You needed to, understand the concept. Without having a proper conceptual clarity, you wouldn't be able to answer the questions.
Very
So
true.
those were some of the welcome changes I would be saying as a teacher also, apart from being an aspirant as a teacher. But now again, this attempt, like I'll tell you, I was very disappointed when the pattern was again changed back from the computerized pattern to the OMR.
You're talking about the 18
I'm
June,
talking about this
the
recent exam, what
2024
happened on
only. Yeah,
18 June,
yeah,
and ultimately the fiasco which it led to.
yeah, right.
Because we are all well aware that when even the government is talking about rhetorics of digital India, that's the Prime Minister also talks about digital India. But ultimately, we are going back from digital India. We are going back to
Yes.
OMR. So, and students who are well versed with the computerized pattern, they are used to the computerized pattern. Again, going back to OMR, there are so many logistical changes, so many adjustment issues.
Right.
So, but leave this aside. I mean, change is the only constant. But apart from that, like I always had this premonition that what if changing it back to OMR might what would I say? I mean, might lead to loss of transparency, And to the worst of my nightmare, I was proven right.
Yeah.
So we saw the paper leaks and all, and I was so disappointed with how NTA had been conducting the examination, because I know so many students who are not from urban spaces. Let's say someone who's appearing for the exam in Guwahati is not from Guwahati. Someone is coming from uh, other states, rural areas, so who's not having a center maybe nearby home. So people are coming a day before, staying in the city. I mean, having traveling expenses, and then ultimately appearing for the exam with so much stress, and ultimately what's happening? The exam gets cancelled.
Yeah, right.
So,
So
so
yeah.
this is very disappointing, and this also impacts a student's mental. I mean, the students, what will I say? The students' morale. It demoralizes someone, because like I was just watching this web series Kota Factory, where this very favorite characters with whom sometime I can relate to, Jitu Bhaiya bole ya sir bole. So so Jitu Bhaiya said that in a podcast there also, that
Okay.
तैयारी ही जीत है, that जीत की तैयारी सिर्फ नहीं करना चाहिए, तैयारी ही जीत है. So we need to celebrate. I'll quote. It's not
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
So are we
Yeah,
repeating the scene again?
yeah, maybe, yeah. So we need to celebrate successful preparation as well.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
as someone who has been in touch with so many people who are appearing for net, not only from pol science, I have been trying to help people from socio, English, education, other departments who have been my whom I have known in the past. So I've seen them prepare so dedicatedly, in such a strong, such a resolute manner, and ultimately what it led to. It's very disappointing. So, but that's what I say, that initially the question patterns, I took it as a welcome change, because the kind of questions, I'm getting to the technicalities, the assertion reasoning question. Maybe it was sometime lengthy, but it actually brought out whether you know the concept or not. You cannot answer an assertion reasoning question easily just
Right.
mugging up the publication
Yeah,
year or who wrote what. So it tests your analytical skill as well, whether your conceptual clarity is there or not. But again, the last exam pattern which was there in this question paper, again, the entire pattern was changed again.
Okay.
There was a lot of chronological question which actually took a lot of time. So I'm expecting that maybe UGC or NTA would again bring back, try to have more questions which are more analytical, which tries to not just talk about chronology, again, publication, this, that. Because ultimately, we are talking about one exam which will decide whether someone is eligible to teach in a college or university or not. So, Marx's Communist Manifesto was published in 1848. Das Kapital was published in which year? I mean, I need to know what is there in Das Kapital, what is there in Communist Manifesto. But students are now, when was Communist Manifesto published? You know this, that's enough. You don't need to know what is inside Communist Manifesto. You don't need to know what is inside Leviathan. What led Hobbes to write Leviathan? You will say, oh, who wrote Leviathan? When was it published? How many parts? That's it. So, I think that is this way of having question. This way of framing questions also, it somehow makes it a rot learning machine. Like there's this song, I think one of my favorite bands, Pink Floyd. Like you become just another brick in the wall. So it's converting students into just another brick in the wall. So you are clearing net, you feel you are eligible to teach in the class, but the moment you go to teach in the class, you can't deliver because most of your knowledge has been rote learning.
You need in-depth preparation. So
need-
that's
yeah.
what even I tell my students. You need to have conceptual clarity, right? And what I feel is, apart from the paper two, what I feel is the kind of questions that NTA asks. Say, for example, you said assertion reasoning questions. We have a lot of statement type questions. They do try to test the concepts.
Right,
So
right.
if you don't have the concepts, you won't be able to qualify.
Right.
The memorization, it works to some extent, but if you see the overall quality of the paper, I don't feel that if you don't have the proper concepts, if you are just trying to memorize the rote learning part,
Right.
it will never help. Because after all, you see, it's only the 6 percentile who qualifies. Right. So
And even if when you are qualifying, the dilemma is that now. So I feel after we qualify net, we are eligible to be unemployed.
Yeah.
I mean, you see when so many universities, I mean, when you clear net, you will then, okay, now I can try to get into a PhD. So when a university notification comes out, you have 2 vacancies. How many people are clearing net? Maybe 10 people are clearing net. So you qualify net, you are eligible to be unemployed now. So I mean, this is very unfortunate that we are having such conversation, but that is what the reality around us. So I also tell like my students that you don't have I mean, uni, uni. I mean, single. I mean, what would I say? One don't have us just one choice of career. So also try
Yes,
to
very true.
explore other options as well, which
Right.
is related to academics, and also not non-academics as well. Because like I'll tell you, if you qualify net in any subject, let's say for example political science, nowadays a lot of other job opportunities are coming up. People are trying for political consultancy.
Yeah, actually, that was my next question to
Okay,
you.
okay.
Anyways, we'll continue with the discussion.
So people are going for political advocacy. So people are helping a lot of people who are willing to contest election. They're being a consultant. So now, for example, both of us are from political science. Someone needs a consultant. Both of us from different universities. So how does someone know that who is more eligible? Again, technically we cannot see, but ultimately, if I say that I have qualified UGC-Net, you haven't, that means that we are competing in the same exam coming from across universities. So UGC-Net is somehow a level playing platform. It's giving you the level playing field, whether you are from JNU, you are from Dibrugarh, you are from Calcutta University, you are from Hyderabad University, you are from USTM, you are from Royal, wherever you are from, private university, public university, does not matter. So if you are qualifying net, that is all what it matters. That means you know the subject, something you know. So that will also help you get some job or the other. I'm telling that the job market coming to the academics is not in a very good shape right now. Unfortunately, we are having this discussion. Even a lot of people are not getting through PhDs after qualifying net. Even after qualifying JRFs, people are finding it difficult to get through PhD. So, but then, will you sit at home? By the time you qualify net JRF, you are almost 23, 24, 25. You can be more than that. Definitely not less than that. So, for a 24 or 5-year-old student, boy or girl sitting at home, you will feel shy asking for money. You want to go out with your friend, you want to take someone out for a date. You need something for your own pocket money. You can't be asking mom, give me some money. You can't do that. So you have to look for alternate career options as well. So you can use net as your core platform, because whatever is there in net, ultimately what you are studying in the 2 years, give your best shot, study, take preparation for paper 1, you can easily clear. You can easily clear the exam.
It means paper 2 with self-study, we can
You
manage it,
can.
right?
I mean, because most of the time what happens is that, you see, this is what from my experience in dealing with students who have been taking coaching. For paper 2, it's mostly students who are done with their masters. So after finishing their masters, they want some guidance, they want some external help which can guide them. I'll not say which can help them to qualify exam. No coaching can help you to qualify net.
True.
I mean, the coaching for net, you can just give you the direction.
Yeah.
Maybe solve few questions, show them the pattern, this is the pattern, that's it. Nothing beyond that. So, but as long as you are a student and with such rigid academic curriculum, most of the students, they are not taking coaching. I mean, as long they are a master students, because you don't have the time to. Will you do your dissertation, field project, homework, classwork? Will you prepare for net? What will you do? So, in that, meanwhile, you have 2 years. You are doing the same thing. So, I think, I mean, nowadays the best time to clear net is around the master's time. You can clear if you're lucky in your first year as well. Otherwise, by the time you complete your masters, even if you haven't qualified, the moment you qualify masters, the upcoming attempt to take it seriously, you can. Because it's not, I mean, it's not rocket science. I mean, UGC-Net is not rocket science. I mean, let us be honest with what we are talking about. You need your conceptual clarity. If you have the concepts clear, if you have studied 2 years thoroughly with bunking also, maybe sometimes people bunk, but then still people have their concepts clear. So if your concepts are clear, you can easily clear the exam.
Okay. Dwapan, if I ask you here, what about the standard of the paper, the language, in terms of the language? Because most of my students, they have this thing that they don't understand the language. What the question demands.
Is it
Okay,
for paper one you're asking?
both. If I say both, because most of the inquiries I get for paper one, that
Okay, right.
student they cannot understand the language. They cannot understand the question specifically. So what about that?
I think that, I mean, you can tell me better, but something with paper one is people have phobia. I mean, even without trying to clear the exam or even without attempting, people have this phobia that no, paper one has maths, paper one has logical reasoning,
Hmm.
we cannot. But and that phobia already plays the role of pulling you down. You can or you cannot, that comes next after you try.
Hmm.
Without trying, you don't know whether you can or you cannot.
Yes.
But you're like, no, I cannot. Tomorrow, if Jasprit Bumrah is like, no, I'm going to play the World Cup final or semi-final, I will be facing the best batsman in the world. What if he hits me out of the park for a six? But like I know, like Bumrah, once he goes, he have the
Hmm.
confidence that I can without
Yes.
getting a wicket. Or once he has the confidence, he'll give the Yorker.
Hmm.
So, and once he gives the Yorker, the batsman will not be able to play. So I mean, with paper one, it's about the approach we have.
Yeah.
And I mean, we need to. I mean, also people need to get. I mean, this phobia. There's no phobia. I mean, the
Hmm.
maths is which is also actually basic maths.
Hmm.
Even I was not someone who was good in maths, to be very honest.
Hmm.
But then, like once I started doing the maths, practicing the maths from YouTube, this, that, R.S. Agarwal, started. I mean, seriously, sincerely doing. Like you cannot survive without maths. Let's be honest.
Yes. Yes.
Today, if you
Very
want a
true.
job,
Yeah.
any job, you
You sit
need
for any competitive
any
exam, you
competitive exam,
have to face
you
the maths.
basic numerical ability
Yeah.
you have. So then, okay, you might not have been good in maths in
Hmm.
school,
Hmm.
but it doesn't mean that you will not be now.
Yeah.
So this phobia, we need to we need to put out. Oh, DI is that 10 marks gone.
Yeah.
Maths is that 10 marks
Very
gone.
true. Very true.
So once we put this phobia out, put this phobia aside, I think it becomes
Hmm.
easier then. And of course, the language sometimes, because again, a lot of people from vernacular medium students, appear for the exam. So maybe this the government can also think about this, that if we can have other competitive exams in multiple languages, that why not UGC-Net also in vernacular languages, because we are having English and Hindi.
Hmm.
Because I know for a fact that a lot of people who are comfortable with Hindi, they find the paper easier than people who are comfortable maybe with Tamil or Bengali, Assamese, other
Yeah.
people from
Languages.
other vernacular backgrounds.
Hmm.
So and so that's why it becomes very structurally it becomes for people coming from vernacular backgrounds from rural areas to qualify the exams. Not everyone appearing for the exams will be having an English medium background. So once someone is not from English medium background or is not in good in Hindi, so then does that mean that that student is not meritorious?
So,
So
what do you think? What should be your approach? Like for me, what I ask them to do is to target the keywords.
right, we can target the keywords and
Yeah.
also maybe we can practice more and
Yeah,
more.
because in a period of 3 to 6 months, it's not possible for us to develop our vocabulary, right? Work on our vocabulary. So the easiest way they can do is to focus on the keywords.
Focus on the keywords, then also solve previous year questions.
Definitely,
So
because
then
once you solve the previous year questions, you get hold of the keywords and all. So practicing the previous year question is actually very important in terms of understanding the language,
right,
isn't it?
right. But
Yeah,
again, but this is a very broad question you asked me. I mean, not something which we actually have a
yeah,
solution to.
which
So
cannot be summed up.
yeah, maybe if someone is in the government, in the education ministry is watching the video, maybe you can consider this, that you can also have the UGC-Net in regional languages if
Hmm.
possible. Why not? If you are having it in Hindi, why not
Yes,
in Assamese? Why
yes,
not in
yes.
Bengali? Why not in Tamil?
Yeah.
Because Hindi is also, I mean, you are having a second option, right? Then why not people who are not comfortable either with Hindi or English?
Hmm.
I know for a fact that a lot of people who are struggling, because I teach in a private university, I've seen a lot of people who are from vernacular medium backgrounds. It takes them long time to get adjusted to the basic vocabulary, but they're trying. So but these students, if they're having some easier option, so why cannot we make it easy for them?
Hmm.
That's what I personally feel.
Very true. So, Dwapan, would you like to, talk about about your opinion basically on the current scenario of competitive exams in the country?
the competitive exams in the country, again, like, I don't want to sound pessimistic, but I mean, we all know what is happening. I mean, almost every other day, some of the other exam is either postponed or cancelled, or paper is being leaked. So I mean, and this entire thing is creating an ecosystem where people are becoming more and more demoralized, because unemployment rate also doesn't seem to favor the youth, or seem to favor the contemporary times we are living in. So I mean, I would like to ask you as well, like, how do you see the future of your institute, Booster Brain? Will you just will you just remain in the coaching domain, or do you want to expand to other domains as well?
So, Dwaipaiyan, see, when I started Booster Brain, we were more focused on Vedic maths training. Alright, so I'm a Vedic math trainer myself. And after I qualified UGC-Net, maybe I would say that before I started preparing for this exam, I just thought that I'll get into this domain of UGC-Net. Why? Because I always was very passionate about teaching. So my goal, my purpose was that I would like to, you know, train students to be better professors, better teachers.
Okay.
So keeping that in mind, we are not just about not just only about UGC-Net. What I'm trying to do is I'm also trying to help students in the field of research. So we
Okay.
have certain workshops that we conduct. We also have plans to conduct mock interviews for the PhDs, because
Okay.
I know a lot of my students, they face a lot of difficulties, cracking these kind of PhD interviews.
Right.
Also the research assistants. Maybe you might feel that we need some kind of assistance in the field of research, isn't it?
Right, right. Of course, because again, like, the people ultimately who easily get through the PhDs and all are people coming from privileged backgrounds, who can speak the English well, who can communicate well, who have all the resources at their disposal for their PhDs. So we again I appreciate this initiative that we need to also help students who are not familiar with the domain of research.
Yeah.
That what is research? Why
Yes.
get involved in research? What are the modalities of research? What is research? I mean, what are the methodologies you follow in research? So I think this is something which is still very underexplored.
Yes.
But nowadays, I think universities are exploring the area of research. So maybe if you can help students who are from backgrounds where they do not have the exposure for research, because after qualifying net, what? If you have to
Yes.
get through a PhD,
Yeah.
you need a good proposal.
Yes.
You need
Yes.
to defend your proposal well. You need to face the interview board. So yeah, I mean, we should also be looking into that. So
So
so it's
yes,
a
after
noble
you
initiative.
so after UGC-Net, what I feel is there's always a question mark.
Yeah.
Because what after UGC-Net? You
Right.
either get into a job of an assistant professor or you get into research, right? So I want to help students in these domains where I feel that, because these are something which is very close to my heart. So I felt that there's a need.
Right.
Whenever I started with my writing my research paper, I felt that I need some kind of help and guidance. So yes, the vision that we have is will also help students with the research, not just UGC-Net preparation, not just research, but we'll try to help them to build their overall personality to be a good assistant professor.
Maybe you can also, I mean, through your connections, whatever you have developed all these years, I mean, a lot of people who students who are not having enough exposure, but they can actually be very good researchers and they can go abroad also.
Yeah.
You can help them with, like, what are the scopes of research abroad, like, what are the scholarships there, what are the universities there, which university has scope for what kind of research. Because I mean, the research scope in India is also becoming narrow day by day, because the more number of people are qualifying net, the same PhD intake is not there. Then what? I mean, should people just wait here? If someone has the potential, someone can write a very good research proposal. Why not try abroad as
Yeah.
well?
Very
But
true.
people don't. Again, people, they don't have the exposure.
Yeah.
They don't have the information. This scholarship is there, that scholarship is there. We were like, oh no, I don't have the money to go to Europe, to go to the US, to go to Japan. I mean, Singapore. But if you can maybe give them the access, okay, these are the options. So you can guide them in these aspects as well.
So we have already started with such an initiative.
Okay, okay.
Basically, we are now trying to build a community of researchers.
Right, right,
Good researchers and the students, the aspirants.
right,
So we
right.
are trying to develop, and I hope so in the near future we'll be able to reach at least somewhere and help the students, guide them, and in their journey of being a good academician. So I hope I can help the students into this journey.
All the best
Thank you so
with these
much.
initiatives.
Thank you so much. So it's finally the end of the podcast. So what is your message to all the candidates, the UGC-Net aspirants, to all the ones actually who aspire to be an assistant professor?
I mean, if you want to be an assistant professor, of course you need to qualify net. But it's not just about net. Please get into the depth, study the literature, study the concepts. I mean, and only go into this sector if you are passionate about it, not because anything else. Because at the end of the day, this is also just a profession. But with this profession comes with a lot of responsibilities. So if you feel that you have it in you, that you can deliver, you have the desire to teach, you can help people in the teaching fraternity, you can contribute something, go ahead. And for any competitive, for any student preparing for any competitive exam, I know it's maybe the times are very difficult, but strong times lead to stronger people. So the times are hard, but you can be harder. So go for it, and don't stop until you are happy with what you achieve. That's it.
So this is the end of the podcast, and I hope it will be useful to some extent. So thank you for watching. If you really like the video, do share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much.